Hi, and thank you for joining me on Cooking with Miss Brenda. And today we are preparing spinach triangles. Every week I put 4 recipes out there and let you guys vote, and this was the overwhelming favorite that wanted triangles. And so when this program is over, we're going to have up on the website the next week's recipes. You can go ahead and start putting your vote in for. There'll be 4, and it's the category of sandwiches and wraps, and that'll be for next week. So as soon as this program's over, you'll want to look for the post with the sandwiches and wraps to vote on for next week. So welcome to my kitchen. This is a ponytail day. This is I'm cooking bare feet, and isn't that nice? I mean, there's got to be some perks about cooking at home in your own kitchen, right? And I am really excited. So let's get our I'm going to turn my pan on right here so it can start to get hot while I read you the recipe. Now the recipe should already be posted on our website and the Kids Club for Jesus Facebook page. So if you would go there, you can see the recipe in case you're wanting to cook along now. Otherwise, you can just relax and don't have to worry about writing down a thing, because unless you want to take notes, because I give you little tips along the way. And so this is going to be a fun day, folks. All right, so we have, for the spinach triangles, you're going to need 1 medium onion, 3 cups of fresh mushrooms, coarsely chopped, 11 cups of fresh baby spinach, 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, that's optional, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of Better Than Bouillon no chicken, 1 tablespoon of McKay's chicken seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, optional, 1/2 cup of feta cheese, 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese, 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, and 1 package of phyllo dough. Okay, so I have both on the website a vegan version of the recipe and also a vegetarian version, so that it does have cheese in it. So I'm trying to give you both, and that way you have options. And if you have substitutions at home for your feta cheese or Parmesan or mozzarella, you can use that too. Or in the vegan recipe, we have tofu, so it's up to you totally. You can swap that out or add it even, you know. I love to take a recipe and just be creative. So it's good to kind of take a recipe once, make it how it's supposed to be, you kind of know, and then you can kind of fiddle with it however you want it. So I've got this going, and we're going to get our onions going. So I have some Pam non-cooking spray, and there's many different brands. This just happens to be my favorite. And so I'm just going to spray the bottom of it. Now you can put a little olive oil in it if you wish, but I usually just use the Pam. And we're going to put our onions in here, and they're already chopped and ready for us. And there's something really good about onions, the smell of onions cooking. I'm not a fan of raw onions at all, but I love cooked onions. Let me just put this in my sink over here. So we're going to let that start cooking. I have in my oven turned up to 400 degrees, so it can be, it's actually at 400 right now, so it's ready when we want to pop our triangles in the oven. They'll be ready. And I've got this on high right now just to keep it sizzling, but guess what? I'm going to just turn it down just a little bit over there so that while that's cooking, it smells so good. And while that's cooking, I go ahead and add my mushrooms right now. A couple reasons. Mushrooms will add, when they cook, they have moisture, and so it's going to give a little moisture to our onions cooking, and they'll have the onions will season the mushrooms, so you give it a nice flavor. And there we go. So I'm just going to let that cook in there right there. And then while that is cooking, you can go ahead and flavor. So I have McKay's chicken style instant broth and seasoning. I'm going to put it up like that so you can see. Let's see. Can you see that? And we're just going to put a tablespoon of that in and start seasoning that up. Okay. And I don't really have to be exact with that. I kind of, if it's heaping, it's fine. Not going to hurt a thing. And let me put that back over here. Then I have a little cayenne pepper but you do not have to put it in if you like. I think it does add a little bit to the flavor, so it's up to you. So I just put just a fourth a teaspoon, it's not much. And we'll put that cayenne over here so I know I used it. Then I have the Better Than Bouillon, no chicken base. It is really good. I love this for my homemade vegetarian chicken noodle soup. It is amazing. I think this Better Than Bouillon brand is my all favorite brand of bouillon, period. It's just wonderful. So I'm going to just put a tablespoon of that, or a teaspoon of that in there. So let me just put that. And I'm going to just scooch every little bit out of it so we have all of it. It's really, really tasty. And put that over here so I don't mess up my counter. And then, for those of you that have been in the kitchen with me before, you know that I do love my red pepper flakes. So this is something I add to this dish. It's not overwhelming at all. Trust me, if you say, oh, I can't stand spicy or whatever, you're not going to notice that spice in here for just the amount I'm putting in, because I'm just going to put in 1 teaspoon. But if you don't like it at all and want to leave it out, leave it out. Not going to hurt a thing. It would be just fine to leave it out. I just want to say, see this little container I have? It has like a little bird on it right there, and it's a little ceramic dish and a little tiny spoon that's shaped like a leaf with a bird on the top. My friend Kendra Pelletier gave this to me. I just love it. She gave it to me for my birthday, and I've used it and used it and used it. And since it's a special jar, I put my special, red pepper flakes in it, and it is so nice. Okay, so we're just going, and this is coming down. You can see that it's getting a little liquidy in the bottom. I wish I had a camera that could just shoot down in here and show you, but since we don't, I'm just going to try to see if I can do it this way, where you kind of, to get an idea of what that's like. And I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit more so that I can, but it's coming along very nicely. And in fact, at the point where it's got to get a little bit tender, because remember I told you I do not like raw onions. I have to have my onions cooked, so I don't want to take a chance that they're not going to get cooked well enough when they're in the oven. So I really like to let them get nice and soft in here, and then I will add my spinach. And you're going to be so surprised for those of you who have not used to cook fresh spinach. Look at all the spinach and you're thinking, how in the world is that going to fit? You'll be shocked to see how this just really drizzles down to nothing. So we're not quite ready for that. And I'm going to just see what we have here. It's really getting nice and liquidy in here. And my onions are clear, which means that if your onions are clear, that's a good sign that they're done. So, and they'll continue cooking a little more in here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit of this at a time and mix it around, and then I'll add some more. That's how because it's gonna all just, it's gonna just wilt right down. Lettuce does that. It just, when it gets hot, it just wilts right down to nothing. And I'll show you in a minute how, you saw how much I put in here, how much it's gonna go down. And spinach is so good for you. It is really good for you. So let's see here. In the spinach, the total that I'm using is 11 cups of spinach, or I get the package, it'll say 16 ounces of fresh baby spinach. That's what I have. And if you're going to measure it out by cups, you pack it in. It's packed cups. You know, like when you measure brown sugar, you pack brown sugar. You would pack the spinach as well in the cup to measure correctly. So let's see here. All right, now I want to show you this. You can see what I'm talking about. Can you see that right there? And it like almost disappeared, didn't it? So now we're ready for some more. And we'll just keep doing that until all of it is really just wilted down to nothing. And then we'll add the rest of our ingredients and we're ready to go. And the reason that it will just wilt down if I do nothing, but I'm trying to make it do it a little faster. So that's why I kind of stir it up. And if I didn't want to do anything but throw it in there and put a lid on it, it would just wilt right down as well. And but I'm trying to get this down here and hurry it up along. In the meantime, while this is cooking, I want to share with you boys and girls about our brand new website. We have a brand new children's ministry just for you. If you go to kidsclubforjesus.org, you will see our page on the internet, and it's a brand new network just for children, where we give you Christ-centered programs that you can watch on demand. Now that means you can watch whatever you want to watch when you want to watch it. Isn't that awesome? And that's really where all technology is going in television. So we're right on where we should be. And we also have on our website other activities for kids as well. We have Bible studies that you can sign your kids up and take Bible studies right now from My Bible First. We also have daily devotions. You go every single day for daily devotions. We have Rich Aguilera has nature programs, and he also offers Sabbath school options for church on Sabbath. We have so many, we have crafts and arts and crafts and things to do. There's so many fun things for kids to do. So check it out, kidsclubforjesus.org, and guess what? You can even watch Kids Time. That's right. So kidsclubforjesus.org. Now I'm going to show you how this is got all the way down there again. You can through all the steam. And I'm going to see if we can't add a little bit more. We're almost there. And this is really, really not only tastes good, but good for you. So, and one of the things that you can add to here sometimes that I've done is I'll add a couple of garlic cloves in it, and that's really tasty as well. You can do that. But this is the same. You can use this recipe. It's not the exact recipe I use, but I also make some spinach pinwheels. It's in one of my cookbooks, and you can use this in pinwheels as well. What's really fun to do is you take maybe some puff pastry and roll it out, and when this filling is done, put that filling on it, roll it up, cut it off, bake it, 7-8 minutes, it is done and delicious as well. And it gives you a little variety. Sometimes I do both. Sometimes I'll just make this up and I'll use some with my triangles and some with the puff pastry pinwheels. And it just gives you a little variety for hors d'oeuvres. I love appetizers, don't you? I really love appetizers. Okay, so let me this is almost done. And we're going to put the rest of this in here. And then we'll just put that in the sink. And see how all of that entire bowl of spinach wilted down in here so fast? It didn't take long. And I still kept it up on a pretty a medium-high heat, so that it can not only melt the spinach, but I also want some of that liquid to evaporate. And so we're just going to do that right there. And this is a great time, boys and girls, to be cooking with your mom and dad in the kitchen. And I know my grandsons are using this time when they're all on lockdown and quarantined at home. And my grandsons have both been baking bread. They've been making really just gourmet meals for their mom and dad, and just having an amazing time. Both my grandsons are really, Michael and Jason are very good cooks. And this is an awesome time to, for mom and dad, if you don't even know how to cook yet, this is a good time to spend in the kitchen learning. And have a fun family bonding time while you're doing it. And so this is getting close to being done. And maybe I'll just turn a little light on right here too. And so I can see all that steam. Whew! But it is smelling good, I'll tell you that. It is sure smelling good. Let's see right here. Well, it's pretty much wilted down. Now I'm just waiting for some of the steam, for some of the liquid to absorb. And while that's absorbing, I'm going to get rid of this right here because I don't think I need it. And we're all done with this. It's nice to have, I can just walk this way to my sink, walk this way to my stove. It's a small little kitchen, but it works for me. I'm going to roll my sleeves up. All right, so this is what phyllo dough looks like. And I'm going to just show you that right there. Comes in a box. And there's two, when you take it out of the box, it comes with two pre-packaged, sealed things of phyllo dough. And one of the things that you're going to need to do, let me grab right here. I have to get wet a towel for you real quick. And so I took a kitchen towel and just wet it. Okay, so it's just all nice and wet, and you'll see why we're going to do that in a minute. And I don't want to burn this back here. You say, Miss Brenda, burn the appetizers. That wouldn't be good now, would it? I'll try not real hard not to do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have this really handy wrap, it's called a Wrap Master. And no, I don't sell them or get any money from it, but it's called Stretch Tight. I always like to pass on tips. This is one of my most handy, I call it my handy dandy kitchen gadget that I would not ever want to part with. It has Stretch Tight, and it's a type of plastic wrap, and you just pull it, because I'm going to pull it and cover my table like that. Let me put this up here. And guess what you do? And it cuts it, just like that. I don't know if any of you read my book where I told about my cookie story, and I would wrap each one of my cookies individually. Use this Wrap Master. Alright, so now we're going to put here. And so now I have this on here. And I am going to cut. Okay. Take that, see how that came all sealed up? And put this over here. And one of the things I'm going to do, I'm going to, you can't ever let phyllo dough dry out. So I'm going to just spray the bottom of this. I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to spray the bottom of this. And let me, okay, so now you can see it all comes in all these layers, okay? So let me see if I can kind of show you that. And, okay, so here we go. It comes with all these layers like this, okay? Now I'm going to spray the bottom, and I'm going to spray the top. Now, a lot of people, when you work with phyllo dough, and we have to keep it moist all the time, so that's when this kitchen rag comes in handy. This, and it's not a rag, it's a dish towel, sorry. My grandma always called it a dish rag, and you know, you kind of go with what your grandma did. So you keep this always covered because you need to keep it moist. It cannot dry out. It dries out, it is ruined. And let me just stir this again. This is starting to get there. Getting a little, still a little juicy in the bottom, but it's starting to get there. Almost done. Okay. We're going to now cut this in strips lengthwise. We're going to make 2 cuts lengthwise, and so we're going to divide it into thirds. So, and I don't measure it, but just go, I eyeball it, and so I'm just going to go all the way down and make sure it goes all the way through. And then I'm going to do the same thing here, all the way through, and it has to go all the way through, or it won't. Then the part that you're not using, you're going to keep that moist. So I've got that dish towel on there. I don't know if you can see that or not. I hope you can. And then I'm going to just spray this again. That you're going to use that spray often. And I have my pan over here with my silk hat in it that I like to put on, and that's ready for me to place them over there. I'm going to put my cheeses over here because it's just about time now for me to put this in here. And I'm going to turn my stove off. This looks absolutely perfect, and I'll just give you another look so that you can see. Whew, see all that steam going there? All right, and now I'm going to just add the feta cheese. I'm going to add the mozzarella cheese, and you can even add more if you like. You can put a cup in depending on how much you like, and then a little of the Parmesan just to give it a really nice flavor. Let me put this over here and just mix this up. Now I've turned my stove off, and I'll just mix this up and let all that just blend in there while we're waiting. Okay. Now I've got to do something else I didn't do, and that's cover this up. We want to, if you even step away from this for a moment, you got to cover it up. Can't let that dry out. Because people that say they can't work with phyllo dough, there are little tips like that that you need to know, and that'd be the reason why you can't work with it, is if you don't know about those little tips. So that's what I want to tell you. So, okay, so this is done and ready. And in fact, I think what I'll do is I'll put some of this in a bowl so it's all ready. And you can also see it better than, whoops, I got some of it outside the bowl. That's always fun. All right, I made a mess, it's okay. All right, so we'll put this over here. You know what, one thing I love about my mom, and my mom taught us to cook, and you know, if you made a mess, she didn't scream and holler at you, go, what are you doing? Make a mess. And I've heard parents do that, and really that's, if you make a mess, you know what? Just have fun with it. Laugh and giggle about it, and you know how to clean something up. It's not a problem. We're just going to wipe it right up like that. And I never want to make anybody feel bad for making a mistake or spilling the milk or whatever it is you've done. In fact, I've made my share of messes in the kitchen, and you know what? That's part of the fun, so don't you worry about it. All right, so this is cooling off a bit. I already have some that I made earlier that's already cool. I can use it like that, but I like to handle it cool. So I already made some here that is cooled off that we can use. So here's what you do. And you're going to keep this handy because you're going to need it often. And let me put that over there. And you're going to need your pan handy. Okay, so maybe I'll use this one close to you right here so that maybe you can see a little better. I'll keep these moist. Okay. And let me put that away. All right, so I'm just going to spray it. Now, a lot of times, in fact, I'd say probably most people, and if you see recipes for working with phyllo dough, they're going to use melted butter with a brush that they brush on there between every layer. And I try to cut the calories where I can, and so I use the spray. But if you want the melted butter, no problem at all. You can use melted soy margarine. You can do that. This is fast, easy. What you're going to do is just take a little spoonful of the mixture. This is like a little teaspoon, and I put it right on here. And it's kind of like folding a flag. Okay, boys and girls, if you ever folded a flag at school or at camp, you're just going to make a triangle and just fold and keep on folding, just like you're folding the flag all the way down. And when you get to the end, I spray that one and spray that again. And see, I want to show you. See how nice that is? Like that. And you're just going to put, now the silk pat, we don't have to put any type of spray or anything on it if you're using a silk pat. If you are not using a silk pat, I recommend using parchment paper for baking. You can use that. So here we're going to just put a little more right here. And let's see right here. And just go fold the flag all the way up. And it's really lots of fun. And you can experiment with different types of fillings to put in here. Sometimes I've made like a Swedish meatball recipe and filled it with my Swedish meatball crumble. And that is delicious. That recipe I have in my cookbook, one of my cookbooks too. That I called Cooking with the Mitchell Sisters. It's one of those. But then you just keep layering that up, and then you're going to put that in the oven, and it's going to bake for 7 to 8 minutes. And it's going to come out looking like this. Let me show you. What do you think of that? And they're crispy, and they're absolutely delicious. Oops, I got to cover this up because I don't want anything to dry out. But look how nice and crispy this, and you can probably hear. Can you hear that? I think I probably should take a bite. What do you think? I don't know. That is really good. Now you have to tell me I've got spinach in my teeth. So let's see. Let me here. See if we have anybody else. Oops. Okay, so I have Melissa texting me if there's any questions or answers. She's letting me know over here. So if you have any questions about the recipes, please go ahead and let me know what they are. I'd be happy to try to answer anything for you. We have someone saying, what if I can't get phyllo dough right now? Can I use something else? And yes, you can. Okay, we got a couple questions. Okay, yes, you can. They won't be exactly like this, but there's other things you can do. You can make pie crust, but it would just be one layer. And pie crust phyllo triangles are amazing. And that's, most people have, you know, some oil and flour and salt for some pie crust, and that's all you need, and it's some cold water. In fact, I have a really awesome recipe for flaky pie crust, and it's a foolproof pie crust recipe. If you want that, just message me and let me know. We'll make sure you get that. Someone else just asked me, why does it get so juicy? Well, the reason it gets so juicy, you can see, I hurried this, and you can see the juice in this one still. I'll probably put that back on and let it simmer out a little bit more. Or if not, you just drain it off when you're putting it in here. Because you can see how this is firm and that other one is juicy yet, because it gets firmer when it's cold as well. But the reason it gets juicy, there's a lot of moisture in mushrooms, and so you're going to get some, when that cooks down, the moisture comes out, and so you need to let it simmer and let all that moisture evaporate. And also spinach, when you melt it down, gets you some liquid and juice in that as well. So, but if you just simmer it on a slow simmer and not try to be, you know, hasty like I am, you'll get that out. It'll all just evaporate into the air, and it's easy to do. And so, let's see. Nicole and Gabriel are watching from Canada. I'm so glad you guys joined us today. And understanding it's kind of still cold up there in Canada. Is that right? I heard that you guys were having cold weather, but here in Tennessee, we're having some beautiful spring weather. So you should come on down and visit us as soon as this COVID-19 crisis is over with, when we can go visit each other again. Isn't that going to be amazing? I've been, I think, shut in my house now since I think almost 6 weeks. So it's nice to be able to have this time with you and talk with you. Also, I want to invite you at 5:30 on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I also have time around the piano where I'm playing your favorite songs. So at 5:30 today, at just a couple of hours, I'll be around the piano, and you can ask me what favorite song you want me to play, and I'll try to play it for you. And we'll just have some fun time around the piano, praising Jesus. Also on Friday at 5:30, and that'll be on Kids Club for Jesus on Facebook. I'll be live for story time with Miss Brenda. You do need to know that praise time is for everybody. So whenever you see praise time, go to Brenda Walsh Ministries. I'll be broadcasting live from that, or streaming live from there. And if it's for the kids, Cooking with Miss Brenda, or the story time, we're on Kids Club for Jesus on our Facebook page. I also want to encourage all of you to please like our page. Will you do that for me? So that we can, we just launched it, and we want to see those likes go up. If you'd help us out, I'd appreciate it. Tell your friends and family to go to our page as well. Also, would you go to my Brenda Walsh Ministries page on YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel, just Brenda Walsh Ministries. And I'd love for you to do that as well. I wanted to share one more thing. I had some questions. Let's see. Oh, Rhonda's asking if you can use vegan cheese. Yes, you can. The reason why I'm providing both vegetarian and vegan options is because there's many places in the world that if they're not able to get the vegan products, and they would have they need the nutrients that they get from the cheese and milk products that otherwise they wouldn't get. And so I'm trying to just be balanced so that we can show you both. So we have vegan recipe, and then we'll always show a vegan recipe, and then a regular vegetarian, lacto-vegetarian recipe. Yes, I've tried many different vegan cheeses, and And there's some that I'm going to be honest with you, I have a strong flavor I don't care for. Others, you know, are pretty good. You've got to watch. Some of them will not melt. And so you got to know that going in. If it's a cheese that you're wanting to melt and you use a vegan cheese, it isn't going to melt for you. Lily and Audrey from Loma Linda say hi. Hi guys, I'm so glad you joined us. And also, Peggy from Nova Scotia says hello. Hello Peggy from Nova Scotia, I'm glad you joined us. And someone is asking about our Leadership Center. Yes, I'd like to, in addition to our Kids Club for Jesus studio, where we are producing programs, Christ-centered programs for you boys and girls, we also have a Leadership Center where we are training children to be leaders for Christ. Our Leadership Center is actually headed up by Dr. Andrew Harewood. He's has his doctorate in theology, he has degrees in leadership, and he has a degree in counseling, strategic planning. I mean, God chose really the right person for this job, and he is passionate about children's ministries. And he will have design a program so that kids can come and they can really learn to be leaders for Christ. And then, once we get going, we'll have a children's church every Sabbath called The Lab, where kids are actually in charge and they are greeting you at the door. They are having the Sabbath school lesson, the children's story, the special music, and preaching. And so we will not broadcast, but I keep trying to say that, but stream live every Sabbath around the world. So that, and also we will help other countries that want to start their leadership programs. Dr. Harewood will come and help you set up wherever you are, what country you're in, and we will have a global effort to train children to be leaders for Christ. What do you think about that? Isn't that awesome? Go to our website, kidsclubforjesus.org, and there's a video from Dr. Harewood. You can actually hear him in his own words tell you more about it. It's an amazing ministry, boys and girls, that is for you, to help you want to be more like Jesus and for you to become more like Jesus. And that includes all the Christ-centered programs that we're bringing to you. So I really want to encourage you to go and check out kidsclubforjesus.org. Tell all your friends, tell your loved ones, okay? And don't forget to join me at 5:30 today and 5:30 on Sabbath for praise time with Miss Brenda around the piano, playing your favorite songs. And that will be coming live on Facebook from Brenda Walsh Ministries, okay? But cooking and story time is on Kids Club for Jesus on Facebook. But guess what, you guys, don't forget on Story Time Friday night, 5:30, at the end of the story, we have a free giveaway. And you won't want to miss our story this week. Let's see if we have any other questions. Okay, the poll is online. So we have you can vote right now. We already put the poll up for next week, sandwiches and wraps, and you can tell me what I'm fixing next week. How does that sound? Well, I want to thank you all for joining me. Remember to keep cooking, eat healthy, and always remember it's your time to share Jesus. Thanks everybody for joining me. Bye-bye.